Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about all of our beautiful coins, but from a higher time frame perspective. But before we jump into that, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to show off how cute this is. Look at these hats. They're fantastic, right? We have the hats, we have the presents, we have the snowflakes. It's looking fantastic, people. But look, seriously, on a serious note, I want to jump in stuff on a higher time frame. We are coming to pretty much the yearly close, right? So first, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. After that, we will talk about render, Kaspa, turbo, and every single thing. Okay, every single thing that we like to cover on this channel. So when we look at the higher time frame, right? Bitcoin obviously extremely bullish, right? I know there was a lot of panic in 2022 about Bitcoin being dead and stuff, but when you just look at the higher time frame, all you see was just retesting, right? It was just retesting, and yeah, I don't know what the fuss was about. That's why I don't really read headlines too much. Sometimes they are important, but most of the time it's just the technical analysis says the story. But yeah, seriously, guys, this is a huge, nice, fantastic candle. We went from pretty much 37,000 up to 107,000. Massive, insane gains, ladies and gentlemen. 70,000 gains, right? And, I expect next year to be really strong. Probably halfway through, we will get a rejection like we did last time. When we go on the yearly candle, we can see this was 2021. And it was a pretty big wick, right? At one point in 2021, Bitcoin's pretty much at 69,000. And then it closed at 46,000. So I expect something similar this time around, unless things change and Bitcoin kind of follows like the S&P 500. But if nothing changes, then we should be going, with the same type of flow. Pangolin, right? I'm going to dive into Pangolin first. It's looking pretty good. It is technically a big rejection at the moment, but these wicks can get eaten up pretty easily, especially with more and more updates. When we look at the 3 month, the 3 month looks really good, right? We retested off of these bottoms, and now we are pretty much kind of halfway in the halfway point. So we probably will go sideways before we break up and take out their last relevant highs of 84 cents. 6 month is just a retest at this moment. We can see very weak sell candle, retest candle. So it is looking good, right? It is looking good. If we go to our beautiful turbo, right, we can see the 6 month is looking fantastic. The monthly, monthly is a big rejection, but it's not really turbo's fault. This is just the last sell off before the big bang. But overall, right, when we look at the monthly, really good, right? Really good price action. The 3 month is extremely good. And of course, the 6 month is actually probably the cleanest because we go on the yearly. Yearly is also really good, right? We could tell turbo was down there last year and turbo's all the way up here. So things are looking good for the yearly candle, the 3 month. This, like I said, this looks really clean. So I expect massive pumps. Once again, with turbo, I do expect for us to try to take out this kind of like trend line resistance, right? Whatever happens here, I expect us to pump over this. And then once we hold this trend line is when I think we're going to get the big type of rally. Okay, that's what I believe. So we'll see how it plays out. Kaspa, all I can say is just consolidation, the CEO of consolidation. But that's okay. That is okay at the end of the day because I do believe there will be a huge bang. The 3 month candle, it would obviously tell us a sell-off, especially with the way this monthly candle is going. But it's not one of those sell-offs where I expect things to die out. That's the last thing I expect with this coin. 6 month at the end of the day, for me, this is like the final type of retest. The 6 month is the cleanest picture, right? We're retesting off these areas for the final time. And then next year is when we're recovering and we're going to be pushing out. Overall, though, this is how the yearly candle looks. Kind of expected considering there was so much consolidation, right? Right. So when there's a lot of consolidation, you're bound to get a candle that looks more like this, but that's okay. Given the context of the market, everything still looks fine and dandy. Our boy Myro looks very weak on the yearly. Can't even lie. Don't even know. We should be taking out these highs, in my opinion, but at the moment, it's not looking the best. This is technically a retest, 6 month retest candle right now. So I do expect recovery. Now, I do believe it's going to go all-time high and higher because of the bandwagon, but we'll see. I do want to see more from the Myro team. The 3 month doesn't look that great, obviously. In the monthly, well, everyone's monthly looks kind of at the moment, right? So, I mean, that is pretty much that for those coins. We still have Render. Render looks fantastic. Even on the monthly, we can tell we're pretty much going into this type of monthly order block. We had a huge support over here, right? And that's fine. That is fine. We could tell in the last month, we kind of retested these tops, leaving almost an equal high for it to be broken to eventually take out the last, the all-time high. On the 3 month, it's just looking kind of like pangolin. It's just kind of building up, waiting for momentum to happen and to break up to the upside. On the 6 month, it's looking fantastic. It's looking a big 6 month candle rejection, which, like I said, I expect everything to be pumping next year. And on the yearly, it's still a decent, strong candle. And yeah, it just looks really good, right? It's made a lot of progress in the last 2 years, and it just looks like has a very bright future, ladies and gentlemen. AKT, kind of same thing. My accent just changed. I'm leaving that in. I don't even care. Kind of the same thing as Render, right? The AIs, they had a big sell, and then 2023 and 2024 they recovered, right? The 6 month also huge rejection. The 3 month is pretty much exactly the same like Render. It is just somewhere in the middle, building up, and the monthly obviously is a sell, but we can see it's a sell into an order block again, right? It's going into a monthly order block. Has pretty much the exact same structure as Render, like literally, right? Render had like monthly bottoms that had an order block, which is tapping into it. It just pretty much created, it took out this relative equal highs, and it's just the exact same thing, right? This is why I believe in market makers, market manipulation stuff, because people can say buyers and sellers are in control, people like us, institutions, whatever, but you cannot tell me like how does Render and AKT have the exact same structure? That's just funny, right? Flux, little underwhelming, but not bad, not bad. It's in a similar boat. Once again, we could see we had huge structure for many months, going to an order block, and I expect this to be flipping. Of course, we're going to 3 month. 3 month doesn't look whatever. It just looks like kind of like the other candles. 6 month looks pretty poor. I'm not going to lie, and the yearly looks pretty poor. Right, it does look pretty poor, but I do expect Flux to be recovering. I would say at least taking out at the minimum these highs over here. So I do expect it to go over $2.11. We talked about Flux a little bit here and there on the channel. I do expect it to do decent. So we'll see how it plays out. When we go to something like market cap for the other coins, right? What we will talk about and dive into this just a little bit. It is looking good, right? It is looking good on the yearly. This is a big yearly, pretty much rejection. We have big resistance over here in terms of closing candles, right? We can see that at the moment we are closing above it. And I think once we close above anything above really, I would say like 9.5% is really going to be ideal, right? Obviously it could close a little bit lower, but in general, it is looking good. We have the trend line, we have the close, and I expect things to pretty much flip, right? In the next coming months, I expect everything to flip to obviously take out these double tops over here, right? Double tops over here. And I would say, at least take out this high. So I expect historically, like we always make new highs and stuff. So I expect altcoins to eventually hold roughly maybe 25% dominance. And I think that's going to be near the peak. And, we're going to use other indications too, but I think that's when we're going to be selling and taking our profits. So that is pretty much it, people. That is, these coins on a higher time frame, Bitcoin on a higher time frame. Everything's looking good. Everything just looks like it's winding up to really blast off next year. One or two coins looked a little bit weak, like Myro and Flux, but in general, most coins look like they're going to have a very strong altcoin season. Remember, anything can change with coins. One fundamental news that comes out that is good or bad can change um, how the coin is going to play out. And yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.